What is up, everybody? I'm NoLucksGiven, and today we are going to be finishing our last match, starting and finishing our last match in my third Dominion Online League. And before we do that, I do want to take a look at the standings as the league currently sits. Here I am, here, NoLucksGiven, and we are about to play against Cowering Cow. Everybody else has finished all of their matches, so we know exactly what this match means. If we take a look, it's not going to be possible for either of us to catch H. Gill Fix with a 21-9 record. H. Gill Fix has locked up first place in the league, but it is still possible to get second place if either of us can get, I would have to get a 5-1, Cowering Cow would have to get a 4-2 finish. But also importantly, I'm just going to mute my music here. Also importantly, it is possible for us to get demoted. So I need to win just one game to not get demoted. Cowering Cow just has to win half a game, so get one tie. Excuse me. I just ate. We're battling at a little bit of a different time there. Haas, thank you very much for the follow. But yeah, we are going to be kicking things off against Cowering Cow now, and I think I got interrupted by my burp, not by the follow, yeah, I just have to get one win in this set of 6, and I don't actually know how to say your name, but let's try to pronounce it here. La Zamakuka, right? I could look right here as well. La Zamakuka, yeah, thank you very much for checking us out here today. And you're safe. It looks like you're safe there with your 45% win rate. But hopefully we can kick out Kartik. Kartik was a real pleasure to play against, and I had some real fun games against them. And they are going to be returning for the next season, so no hard feelings against Kartik, of course. And let's take a look at our first kingdom and see what we can do. So first thing, I like to take a look at the events and landmarks. Trash up to 2 cards you have in play. Okay, so that can be useful for trashing coppers, but not estates. We've got Governor as well. When you buy an action card, if you have a copy of it in play, take 2 from here. And then a rather expensive kingdom. The only action is lackeys. Is there any way to get additional buys? There's not. Okay. All right, well, this kingdom's going to be rather expensive, but we'll see what happens here. We've got no 3s or 4s, so... Oh, we do have Potion. So my opponent going for Potion into Philosopher's Stone. So Philosopher's Stone starts off as a silver. Thank you very much for the follow, my bar life. Starts off as a silver, and then later in the game, of course, it'll probably be worth a gold relatively quickly. The only thing I'm thinking is like, okay, Governor, do we just want to try to make that work, go Governor into Provies? And I think I just want a Governor as soon as possible. So I think because of that, well, we don't have any decisions to make this turn. We're going to be grabbing a silver this turn regardless here. But I think I just want to grab a silver again this turn. Could also do something silly like just Bonfire, make my deck a little bit smaller, which will allow me to start going. The problem is like the estates, we can't really even make use of them with governors because there's no 4s in this kingdom other than Potion. So the Potion almost works just as a card to governor into golds, to go estate, then gold, then governor. So that's really tricky. We can also use the Horde to buy tunnels, which would give us golds. I'm not sure if there's any other way to discard. Gain a card from the trash or trash an action card from your hand and gain a card up to 3 more than it. So we can use this to turn lackeys into grave robbers, which turn into provinces. Maybe that's also not a super bad route. Either way, I think I just want a silver here. I don't think I want to mess with the Philosopher's Stone. Maybe I am just a little bit hesitant after my game last night where I drew, or maybe it wasn't last night, but it was like yesterday or something, but I had multiple turns where I just had copper, estate, potion, and just couldn't buy anything. Like my opponent just did that turn, but there were no 2s in that kingdom either. All right, so this hand has the option to get pillage, which lets you grab some spoils and do an attack on your opponent. Harvest doesn't seem that good. I actually do like Gatekeeper. It's not that bad as a first action because it's really going to mess with what our opponent's doing. So I think I will grab a Gatekeeper, actually. Yeah, okay. Let's grab a Gatekeeper for now. I'm not sure if I want a second Gatekeeper. I might want a Governor rather than an additional Gatekeeper. Yeah, my opponent's going to go for a Governor. The thing is, I don't think it's bad to get Governored against you because you just turn your estates into silvers in this kingdom. So I do think I want another Governor because it can just give you golds while giving your opponent silver. So Governor is always decently strong. All right. And my opponent grabs the first Philosopher's Stone, but now they've... I don't think that's going to be too big of a deal. The Governor will probably help them get to 30, but the Governor could also just get golds. I have to decide now if I want to try to bonfire, make my deck a little bit smaller, because I don't think I benefit that much from an additional silver. We're going to have a ton of silvers later on, and there's just no other way to trash in this kingdom other than, I mean, Governor allows you to trash. Yeah, you can always trash a copper if your opponent plays a Governor. Grave Robber doesn't allow you to trash estates or coppers. So I think I just want to bonfire and get rid of these coppers. Yeah, let's get rid of some of these now. Make our deck a little bit smaller. And now we've got a Governor and a Gatekeeper. We won't really be doing anything this turn. I do think I will grab a lackeys here, though. I could also use Governor to turn my silver into another 5. My opponent just grabbed a second Governor themselves. But what I am thinking about here is just saying I could also draw 3. That would probably draw me 3 copper, or it might even hit a silver, at which point I could get like a horde or something even. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe the cards is the way to go. Governor and then ending with pillage. Oh no, it discards 1 card, so it's not quite as good as Militia. Well, I'd love to get these out of my hands, but exactly 1 more means I'm just grabbing potions. So I don't know. I don't know how I feel about these estates. I think I'm just going to gain a gold. And then I'll Gatekeeper, and then I will grab a lackeys. I like the villagers that the lackeys bring, and I think I will grab some grave robbers in this kingdom. So my opponent grabs a gold. Plays a gold, exiles a gold. Why did this say that? Oh, because I Gatekeepered. Oh, so they played 2 governors and were able to discard that from exile there. All right, so interesting decision to make this turn. I think I will just go for a province. There's not really a way to get additional buys in this kingdom. I don't know. Maybe that's a little too early. Yeah, it does feel a little early, doesn't it? Because there's all these colonnade points on the board still. So I think we just... my intention was to get Grave Robber with this hand, but I forgot about the fact that we've got Gatekeeper. Governor is going to really allow you to use the colonnades as well. Let's grab a province right now. I think we'll be able to grab a governor on a different turn, like a turn like this. And if not, we'll just grab some lackeys here. Yeah, my opponent going for the governor strats. So we can now use governor, and we could do something like trash our copper, gain a lackeys, and then play out 5 and grab another governor. I think that that is one of the best routes for us here. So let's do this. My opponent now gets to trash an estate and grab a silver if they'd like to. They just trash a copper. But then we're going to grab a governor, and that gives us the first crack at the colonnade. And I might go ahead and grab another Gatekeeper here, because it is going to just be good to make use of this colonnade while we can. So, yeah, I think I like that. Ripping through the colonnades. Can't really make use of the governor yet again, but I think we'll just be using the governor this time to get +3 cards. Alright, they exiled their governor. Oh, that's right. We already have access to 4. So we definitely want to use this first one to draw 3. Let's see what we draw. So now we've got access to 8 again. And I think what we do is we governor our gold into a province, which will allow us to then buy another governor and take 2 more from the colonnade. I think it's a little bit awkward to start trashing our gold here so early, but this is just a lot of victory points in a kingdom that doesn't really have too many victory points available for everyone. So I think we want to grab the colonnade stuff while we can. So my opponent goes governor for silver, discarding their gold from exile. So my opponent now has a bunch of gold in their deck, but we've got a bunch of lackeys here. Let's just buy a province. Why not, right? We were gifted a bunch of silver, so let's buy a province. If my opponent buys the last 5 provinces, yeah, they'll be able to catch up. But, I mean, look at this. We're already... Yeah, we're just going to governor, gain a gold, and then buy another province. Our goal is just to have this game end as soon as we can here. My opponent just gifting us endless silver, and then they are going to buy a province. So the game is, like, over relatively quick here, I think. So let's just gain a gold, gain a province, and I think we started to green at the right time by the looks of it. Because, yeah, our opponent is now in a tough spot. They buy another province, but even if they buy the last 2 provies, we win. So feeling pretty good about that. What could we do now? You have to gain a card costing exactly 2 more. So if we governor away the Gatekeeper, we don't get anything. I will probably just governor for gold, play Gatekeeper, and then pass the turn and have that be enough. So yeah, let's just gain a gold. Let's play the Gatekeeper. Oh, let's play 2 Gatekeepers. Yeah, that is definitely worth a villager there, because now we've got enough with this hand to buy a province already. So my opponent's got to buy a duchy or the game is over. Can we end the game? We cannot, because you cannot use governor to turn a province into a province. So let's just go governor. Let's gain a gold, and then let's autoplay this and buy a provi. So now my opponent is down by 16, and that is going to be really hard for them to keep up, especially if they allow us to draw cards with governor. But they are in a pretty tough spot here. With 1 buy, they buy a governor, but now we should be able to end the game. We don't have any gold from our Gatekeepers this turn, but let's just go cards. And we are 1 short. We hit 7. My opponent exhausted the colonnade, so we're really not going to be able to do too much here. We just Gatekeeper, and then we have 7, and with 7, what should we do? We probably just buy a gold, because we have so many governors that if we can governor a gold, that ends the game. And we're up by 12. or we're up by 14, so there's no way that my opponent can sneak in an ending here. We are going to have 7 yet again on this turn, but now that my opponent has given us cards with the Governor, we are definitely going to be able to find the win. So we are able to get the first win, and we only need one more win to not get demoted, as my opponent is going to end the game there, writing on the wall. That is game 1. So now let's, advanced options here, and we will be on the play now for game 2. And yeah, like I said, second is still not out of reach. So now that we've gotten our first win, now we want to think about, okay, well, how do we get 4 more? Let's take a look at this kingdom. We've got Wolf Den. -3 per card you have exactly 1 copy of. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. And then a pretty powerful board with Laboratory and Encampment. Duchess you get for free whenever you gain a duchy. Assuredly, we're just going to be starting with silver, but let's read Monastery. For each card you've gained this turn, you trash a card from your hand or a copper you have in play. You know what? I actually really like that. All right, so let's go ahead and grab a Monastery early and see if we can get rid of all of our coppers and things. We will have to do some work. Our opponent buys a Talisman. I did not even read this one yet. Let me silence my phone. While you have this in play, will you buy a non-victory card? You gain an additional copy of it. Then it's otherwise just a copper. What does Way of the Worm do again? Oh, exile an estate from the supply. Yeah, this is a really tricky kingdom. I really don't know exactly what the route here is. If there are any cards in the trash costing from 3 to 6, gain 1 of them. Otherwise, you attack your opponent. So there's no way to gain additional actions on this kingdom. That's not true. Encampment actually is a fine way to gain additional actions. I'm interested in the remodel because of Remodel Monastery. But I want to get laboratories as soon as possible. So I'm going to go ahead and grab a silver, and then I'm just going to try to grab labs as soon as we can. So this is kind of a weird turn, but I'm going to grab an encampment, which allows us to trash an estate from our hand. And now, because I bought that silver, I'm able to grab a laboratory. And my opponent grabs 2 remodels. Which is interesting because they had 5. Oh, but Talisman only allows you to gain something that costs 4 or less. So my opponent goes for 2 remodels rather than grab 1 laboratory. So that does make some sense there. My opponent grabbing another Talisman. They're going to go all in on this remodel strat. Well, I do like the opportunity for remodel to allow you to trash multiple more things with Monastery. That is kind of cool. I guess I have to think here now. I like the cash from the silver as well. There's no real way to get multiple buys, so I think my opponent's just going to go for a remodel strat. If we can get just a few more coin out of our deck, though, Laboratory becomes really powerful. I'm also tempted to go like Encampment, because as soon as we get our first gold, Encampment becomes really, really busted. Remodel can kind of help you grab a gold, but not really. I'm at -10 victory points. That's really funny. All right, let's gain 3 victory points by using this to get rid of one of our, or get an additional silver, is what I meant to say. So my opponent is going to grab double encampment from the talisman. Okay, that is really cute. That is really cute. So I can use encampment here to grab a gold, or I can just grab another laboratory. And I'm just going to go ahead and grab another laboratory. I really like what my opponent's doing with talisman and encampment, though. And that might prove to be really powerful. So encampment is like this powerful card, but it's basically like a horse. I mean, it's a better horse, but you have to give it back if you don't have a gold or a plunder. My opponent grabs their first laboratory, turning in a silver. Let's see what we can hit off of this. And now we're able to grab our first gold. And gold is really good because it's going to allow us to start playing our encampments. We will potentially want to pick up a remodel at some point. And what I'm not sure of is, does Way of the Worm exiling an estate? It must. Yeah, okay. Well, my opponent now has all of the encampments. So I am out of the encampment game, but I can gain my first plunder this turn, most likely. Oh, I cannot now. Oh, I think I missed this last time. I can just use encampment to gain an estate. So I probably want to go ahead and do that. And now... do I want to grab my first remodel? Doesn't seem super powerful. I could also grab another monastery, which I haven't really figured out if that's super good for us yet either. Yeah, I don't think I really love the remodel. I think I'm just going to grab a silver, and then I should be able to... Okay, so it says I can only trash one thing, so I guess Way of the Worm did not count. But we do have laboratory encampment this turn, and they sent their encampment back. So because they don't have any plunders or golds yet. So that's where we do have an advantage on my opponent, is that we already have this gold in our hand. And now we've got the chance to purchase some encampments. So that's sweet. We should make this like always reveal. Can we do that? No, we cannot. All right, laboratory. And now we actually have way too much stuff here. But let's go ahead and buy a province and then exile a copper. That seems good enough to me, right? That first province only gave us 3 victory points. So we're winning by a little bit more than the board would currently let on right now. Oh, shoot. I need to give back my encampment at some point because it's making me lose 3 victory points right now. I just realized that. All right, well, let's grab this encampment then before my opponent notices that. 7, though? With 7, I really just want to grab laboratory or a gold. I think I'm just going to grab another gold, right? My opponent is just cycling through their encampments. They're not really taking them. I really need remodel to start grabbing the encampments, but I'm going to grab a gold, which is also my second gold, which is important. So, yeah, I think that winds up being just as good here because we do need another gold at some point. My opponent putting back encampment, but, yeah, I mean, they're also, like, making use of things. Eventually, they're going to be able to remodel a remodel, but for right now, they're just putting the encampments back, which I definitely appreciate. They're going to remodel, grab an encampment, and then they're going to put 2 encampments back, but they did grab a plunder on that turn. But that's fine. I think I'm just going to grab another laboratory and then exile or trash a copper. I think my opponent isn't hanging on to any of these encampments, so we should be able to get them at some point. But the victory points are super hard to pay attention to in this kingdom because everything is just flying back and forth and it is super complicated. So my opponent trashes a silver, gets a laboratory, and then buys an encampment. So let's see if we can find a gold or a plunder. We find a gold. And now I've got way too much stuff, so I might as well exile an estate and then buy a province. And that province was worth 9 victory points because it was our second one. Yeah, I mean, I'm very much inclined to just buy a laboratory whenever I can and buy a province whenever I can, right? My opponent is now potentially no longer giving back the encampments as they actually play the plunders. And I swore I had a plunder, but I must not. No, because my opponent has one and they just bought their second one. Okay, so I don't actually have a plunder. I think I will buy a plunder this turn then, because those are pretty strong. And let's trash a copper. And let's see if my opponent can find a gold. They do not, so they are going to be giving back some encampments. So I think I will look into buying an encampment this turn, potentially with... okay, they are grabbing some more plunders as well. But yeah, use Way of the Worm, so that way I'm not just throwing away my actions. And then we'll buy one of these 2 encampments that my opponent has given us here. So let's just... Way of the Worm, and then let's buy an encampment. And this actually worked out great for us here. We can Monastery, and we can trash our last estate. This turn has 8, so we are just going to gain 7 victory points. We're going to play 8 worth of cash. Our opponent does have a plunder in their hand, but hopefully is not able to make too many good things happen. They trashed an estate for an encampment, so this pile is all done. And they did gain 9 victory points this turn, but we're gaining 7, so I don't feel super bad about what's happening now. And one of us will probably run out the estate pile pretty quickly now, and then it just becomes a matter of probably just buying through the provinces. But we are most likely going to get at least a province this turn. Hopefully we will be able to also grab an estate or 2 through Way of the Worm. But one thing that is a little bit tricky is we would like to grab an additional monastery, if possible, because this is basically worth a duchy for us right now. So let's see what we can cook up here. All right, well, this is already... enough to buy, but let's see if we can find some encampments so that way we can Way of the Worm, and then let's buy a province. So I was able to get 8 victory points on that turn. That is not too shabby. And on this turn I will buy a monastery because monastery is worth 3 victory points. So it's a pretty good off turn. Opponent gains a duchy, which is worth 0 victory points, and another duchy, which their second one now is worth 3. We are just going to auto-play our treasures. Let's buy a monastery, and then let's trash a copper. I do have to worry about, I've got no clue how many coppers are in my deck, and I could potentially wind up trashing all but one of them, which would be very awkward, but I think that that is all fine. Oh, for some reason my chat wasn't popping up here, so apologies, but I missed all of these chats. You can still report the game even if the account doesn't see the game, so that shouldn't be too big of a deal. I guess we're just going to not play the monastery this turn. We did gain 1 victory point. My opponent's now tying us. So we either buy a gold, we buy our first duchy, which puts us in a really awkward spot because our first duchy is worth 0. I think we do buy our first duchy. All right. It's a little bit of an investment, but let's go ahead and buy our first duchy here, and I don't think I'm going to trash a silver. This hand will definitely have enough for a province, But the awkward thing is if my opponent goes province plus plunder, which I think they are going to be able to do this turn, it means that we really have to either Way of the Worm, which, yeah, my opponent is going to get the last worm as well, and then they're going to get 2 victory points from plunder. So we are now in a little bit of a predicament at this point. I'm going to laboratory just to try to find our plunder. But we're not going to hit it. So unfortunately at this point I do just have to buy a duchy, which is worth 33. So now if my opponent misses and then we buy a province, then we're in a fine spot. And my opponent could definitely miss. They haven't shuffled through their deck yet. Come on, baby. But they'd have to miss, meaning not even buy a duchy or have a plunder. So they've really, really got to miss. But if they do, they also can't have... Oh, yeah, they got the plunders. Okay, so they're going to be able to grab a duchy with 2 plunders, so they are now beating me by 11. So I don't think this one is going to be possible, but I am going to go ahead and just buy a duchy, and then I think I actually will... Oh, okay, don't trash. That's fine. So now my opponent... So if they totally miss and then I go province into... Yeah, they're not totally missing. It was foolish to think that they might. They are going to end the game beating us by 16. We still had a chance that game, but it wasn't looking super good. So let's say now that Cowering Cow, you are on the play, and Cowering Cow has now avoided being demoted. I think that worked, right? Cowering Cow is on the play? Should be. Yep, okay, great. So let's take a look at this kingdom. We've got a keep, opponent immediately grabbing a market square. I need to take a look at this kingdom. So gain a gold, exile a duchy. All right, so Enclave is really good. I really like Enclave a lot. Gives us something to buy for 8. And then we have keep 5 per differently named treasure that you have more copies of than your opponent. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. So we're gonna want to be wary about how many coppers we trash, if there is even a way to trash coppers. Crown, whoever has more crown gets more victory points. If we can tie, then that's fine. That's a push. So let's see, with 4, we've got access to Village Green now or at the start of your next turn. A lot of things care about discarding. Is there a way to discard? Royal Blacksmith lets you discard all your coppers. Fortune Teller makes your opponent discard cards, so Fortune Teller seems horrible with all of the discard. Okay, Oracle is the way to start doing the discards in this kingdom. So Village Green is pretty cool. And +2 actions. Market Square doesn't give you additional actions. So I'm tempted to go like Village Green Oracle. Then you always let your opponent keep Market Square. And you always discard it for yourself. We will want a Market Square eventually, but Oracle is how you control the discarding. So I do think that we want Oracle as soon as possible. And then just grab the Village Greens. I mean, Market Square is good because it's additional buys. But I think we want Oracle to jumpstart us here at the start of the game. And our opponent's going a different route. They're going Sacrifice and Market Square. And Sacrifice does allow you to trash cards from your hand. So that part is pretty strong. Village Green is also a fine card to open with because it allows you to shuffle your plus to the next turn. Wait, trash is an estate. Oh, and one of your cards is trashed. Oh, I totally misread Market Square. I thought it was when one of your cards is discarded. It says you may discard this. All right, well, let's just take another look then at what we're doing. For now, we're in on this. So let's start with this. This is my deck. Yeah, so let's discard this stuff, and my opponent can keep their estate. They get to reorder it if they want. All right. Then I have access to 4. Yeah, this is not great for us here. I guess I should just grab a sacrifice, even though I made a mistake, and just try to make it happen, even though we messed up here. All right, they sacrifice with the market square in hand yet again, and now there is Lighthouse to protect against attacks that my opponent is going to go for. So let's play this, and if I just take this now, I could potentially grab Bazaar or Crown. So let's go for it. And we miss, unfortunately. Yeah, that kind of stinks. All right, let's grab a market square here because it is really rather good, and we want to make sure that we don't miss out on it. My opponent grabs the first Crown, and we're going to say next turn. But there is so much that can happen at the end game of this game. Yeah, my opponent's going to be kicking our butt on golds, too. Whew. Yeah, we really messed up with this one, huh? Okay, but now I have additional actions this turn. They did play a Lighthouse, so our attack won't affect them. We're definitely going to wind up doing this, but let's start with Oracle. If we keep this, that means we've got access to 3. We're just going to be buying another market square. Is that good enough? I could also buy another Oracle. I think I will buy another Oracle this turn. So this is fine. Then let's trash this, market square for a gold, and buy another Oracle. It's just good for the card filtering on ourself, and we could potentially use it to discard Village Green, though that's not the most powerful thing going on in this kingdom, and we could definitely be left behind, as my opponent continues to play Sacrifice with Market Square in their hand every single time. Then they use Enclave to buy a gold. I don't think we're going to be able to catch my opponent in winning the gold race, but it only takes 1 silver, and it only is going to take 1 copper at any given time. I do think, yeah, so we're already winning on copper, right? Because my opponent is just willing to throw away the copper race, which that makes sense. We really want to win then on crowns and silvers. Enclave is so good, but I'm just not sure if it's going to be, if it's just going to be too awkward. Like if we have the opportunity to buy crown silver or Enclave, I think we should go crown silver. Let's go ahead and do this now. We have to do this now. And then we sacrifice, trash our estate, and then we market square. And then can we buy anything for 2? Yes, we can buy a Lighthouse or an estate. Actually don't hate buying the estates, but I don't hate buying the Lighthouses either. Alrighty. Let us see what we can make work. And when we discard Village Green, we can reveal it to play it. Opponent buys another crown and another Lighthouse. So Oracle's not going to affect them. This is the top of our deck. Let's just discard it, I suppose. Oh, wow. And then we hit 7. 7 with 1 buy. I do feel like we should be picking up the crown here. 7 almost seems like a waste when you could Enclave with 8. But crown feels, it feels like we can reach them with the crown victory points. So I should try. And our deck's a little bit more engine-y than my opponent's deck, so maybe the crown will be able to do some work. But some of this stuff here also looks pretty good. My opponent does have Bazaar as well, so yeah, they're probably doing some good stuff here. They do another Enclave for Duchy. Yeah, that's really strong. All right, let's do this now. Let's do this now. And what did we get there? So right now I can go Crown Lighthouse. Like, I'm pretty sure I want to use the crown to copy my gold here, especially if we're going to have multiple buys with the market square. Let's do this. All right, so this gives us 8. So now we can do this next turn, and then we can go gold. Oh, I did that in the wrong order. I thought you had to go gold, then crown, but you go crown, then gold, and then this. And now I think we buy an Enclave. I think Enclave is just a lot of power. I know I said in this exact scenario I might want to contemplate Crown Silver. But Enclave is just so good too. Maybe there's still a chance that we beat our opponents in gold. Probably pretty unlikely though. But let's go for it. Let's do an Enclave. It's just so strong. All right, my opponent buys another Enclave. They're Enclaving almost every turn, and the Village Green is actually so good for us here. Wow, okay. So let's Oracle. We're going to discard these for sure. Yeah, this seems fine. My opponent can have Lighthouse Copper. And we're just going to sacrifice, trashing a copper, discarding market square. We have a bunch of other stuff to do here too. So I think let's play another Oracle and try to hit a Village Green. I think that's right. We're going to be discarding these for ourselves, top decking this for our opponent. And should we hit a Village Green? We do not. So we just Lighthouse, then we sacrifice, trashing a copper, discarding market square, and then buying an Enclave. Is possible. Is possible. We could definitely still be in this one here. With no Village Green this turn. Oh, good. My opponent does not have a really good turn. They're going to gain a crown. And we do have an additional gold here, so I can buy an Enclave, right? I can Village Green to the next turn, crown gold, copper. Yeah, all right. Village Green next turn, crown gold, copper, and let's Enclave. And we're catching up. It's 24-24. So I'm feeling pretty good about how this game has progressed. My opponent is going to buy the penultimate Enclave, which now allows us to buy the last Enclave ourselves this turn. We currently have access to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 gold. So we do want to find cards now. And we found a gold. So that'll be enough. We sacrifice, trash copper, discarding market square, play all this, Enclave, grab the last duchy. And our opponent is still beating us in golds, but we can still definitely get back in the game. My opponent buys a Pravi now. It is time to start buying Pravis. Well, I guess I'll just buy a Pravi then. Sure. My opponent can keep a Lighthouse. That's fine. Lighthouse Copper is always on the top of Cower and Cow's deck. That seems fine, though. And let's just buy a Province. So we're trailing my opponent by a little bit right now, but I think we can seize the means of production somehow through all of this. My opponent grabs another province. We'd have to grab... I believe my opponent has 3 crowns to our 1. But silver is a... Let me just double check on silver. Control F, silver. Oh, it's over there. Okay, yeah. So no silvers have been purchased this entire game. Just debating if I want to crown like the village green or the market square or something. If we do it now, then we get to... But might as well just do it on market square, eh? The reason to do it on village green is then that's 2 draws that could potentially let us hit sacrifice. Let's do this, and let's play it. So currently I'm playing village green. Let's just play them both now and now. All right, so now we hit Oracle, and I guess I will just top deck these 2 cards. That's going to give us... It's going to give us access to 6. Let's go ahead and play that. We're just going to be playing market square. 4, 5, 6. If we hit 1 more, then we can crown, but otherwise we could maybe do something else. Or I'm sorry, we could province, is what I meant to say, if we use the village green now. If we just send it to the next turn, that means that we've got 7 on this turn, which is just enough for, like, crown lighthouse. That's not that great. What are these victory... Oh, these victory points are from sacrifice. Yeah, sacrifice is pretty strong. I could also just grab another sacrifice in market square. Don't actually hate that. Okay, let's do next turn. Lighthouse. Market square sacrifice. Let's go ahead on this. Let's try to steal the golds from my opponent. We're also going to try to steal the crowns. This is a complicated kingdom. The duchies are gone, which means that the game could end like pretty quickly here. My opponent is trashing 2 coppers, getting a bunch of gold, and buying a province. That is how they are going to try to end the game. We've got 2 buys this turn, so maybe we can make some stuff happen, like multiple crowns. Could also buy multiple golds, which could be enough to steal the golds from my opponent. So it's something that we want to consider. 2 crowns is also interesting. So I think I don't want to buy the provies. I think I want to try to get my opponent on the other angles of victory here. Like by buying 2 golds. Let's see. Gains a gold. So Cowering Cow has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, I looped around again. I think they've got 7. They must have 8. So if I buy 2 golds, I'm winning on golds. That means I am winning. No, that did not work. Why did that not work? 15 gold have been gained. Whatever. Let's see. What did my opponent do then? My opponent played a bunch of money and grabbed a province. I don't know why that didn't work. Hold on 1 second. Gains a gold. So let's see how many I have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's because it was like, is it because I was already winning the golds? right, let's try to stay. That was probably a mistake there too, but maybe if we can just get one big turn here with the Oracle, if my opponent doesn't have a big turn. I guess I was already winning on golds and didn't realize it. All right, so the game can end now. All right, let's go by the assumption that we're already winning golds. If we get a silver, that is worth 5. 3 crowns is worth 10, but that's 15. Let's start with Oracle. We're going to discard for ourselves, and my opponent has a trap set for us already. Multiple buys. The problem is province. Wait a minute. Province silver is enough, isn't it? Puts me to 44. No, that puts me to 50. Puts me to 50. I would need to also win on the crowns. Let's just discard this. Yeah, try to find like some market squares and stuff. I think we just don't need the market squares anymore, but we do need the buys. I just want to sacrifice, right? We do need the buys from this, so let's go ahead and play this. So if we sacrifice... Oh, we could also... No, trashing this estate doesn't do enough for us. All right, let's sacrifice, trashing sacrifice. All right, so this gives us enough to take 10, take 15. This isn't going to be enough to win the game, though. If my opponent can get a province, they win. But I think this is probably our best avenue to victory. I definitely messed up by grabbing the golds last turn or 2 turns ago and then grabbing the province. 10, that's 5, 15. 10, yeah, they go down to 48. I'd go up to 49. Yeah, I'll be winning this turn. So if my opponent misses on the province ones, I think this is our best thing that we can do. Is steal the crown, steal the silver. My opponent can buy a silver, which is worth 1, which is worth 5 victory points. They also have a village green and a lighthouse going into this turn. So yeah, seems pretty unlikely that we're able to win. All right, yeah, we messed up here in this one for sure. I just assumed that my opponent had more golds than I did, and we were winning on golds. Oh, no, they were just winning even further? Oh, wow. All right, so I really just should have totally given up on the golds then. Oh, no. I'm sorry, this is me. Yeah. So I was winning on the golds and just didn't realize it. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Alrighty. Let's go ahead and be on the play here for game 4. And take a look at this kingdom. So plus 2 victory points for each differently named card you have. Exploration says at the end of your buy phase, if you didn't buy anything, +1 coffers and +1 villager. I need to ask a rules question about exploration. If you didn't buy any cards, well, I'm not sure if it will matter too much. All right, so it doesn't count as buying a card, my opponent says, and I believe them. And this game's going to be me on the play here, too. This is, so this is a kind of a tricky kingdom. For sure. There's a lot of cards in this kingdom, and I have no clue what the most powerful route is. So let's go ahead. Let's dial it back to basics here. Do we have any trashing? We do not. Do we have any plus actions? We do. We have plus actions. We have plus buys. So this could be a really big kingdom. We do have trashing. Urchin is the only trashing. All right, so Urchin seems to be like a really strong opening route to go with. I think Talisman is also going to be really good. Something like Talisman, even just grabbing ghost towns, can be really good. All right, and my opponent goes for the exploration. If you didn't buy anything, well, that works with ghost towns, so I can see kind of why they did that. The fact that they went for it kind of makes me want to go for it too. Yeah, I guess Urchin isn't really a good like opening buy. You'd rather Talisman the Urchin. All right, I'm gonna also grab an exploration because my opponent did, and my opponent seems to know what they're doing more often than not here. So this turn, I'd like to pick up 2 urchins. Perfect. So we bought 2 urchins, so now we've got a bunch of urchins in our deck, and I think that can make us pretty strong. Let's see, should we do it again? Oh yeah, and these attacks are going to be at least a little bit annoying to my opponent. Do I just buy 2 more urchins? Yeah, if it's a mistake, we can get rid of some later. Let's buy them up so that we have access to all of them and my opponent does not. Maybe on the Talisman turns I should be going for like ghost towns or something though too. I think that's also good. I kind of want 1 additional Talisman. I got no clue what I'm doing with this kingdom, but I think I'm having fun. So, seems fine to me. We are going to be able to grab an Urchin here, or a Mercenary rather, on this turn, which will make our deck significantly smaller and hopefully allow us to do some fun stuff. And then I think we'll be picking up like some village greens or some city quarters. Maybe I'll just want to start going for city quarters now. Though on the Talisman turn, I guess I'm tempted to go for village greens. I actually don't want ghost towns because I want actions in my deck for city quarter. So let's do village green, I think, and then yeah, let's grab 2 village greens. And then I think I will start to city quarter as soon as I don't have a talisman, but I also keep drawing talismans. So yeah, I don't really know what I'm doing just yet, but we're having fun at least. And my opponent hopefully is not, because we keep urchinting them. And now with 3, we do have the talisman here, but I'm just going to go ahead and buy my first city quarter. So let's cycle city quarter. And then I think we're going to go ahead and not... Well, let's urchin first. Oh, city quarter is really good with exploration as well. Look at that. Look what I found out. Okay. I think we just take this now. Oh, perfect. Oh, cool. All right, so Mercenary. And then we get to... Sure, let's turn that. And then let's trash these. We're doing a whole bunch of stuff here. this is cool. We're definitely going to be making that happen. Let's do this now. Okay, let's Mercenary again. Trashing this stuff. This all seems good to me. Then let's autoplay our treasures. Let's repay our debt. And then I believe we buy another city quarter. We've done something crazy. We didn't trigger our exploration, but we'll trigger our exploration this turn. Exploration debt is definitely a combo. This game is wild. We want to have one of copies of a bunch of different things as well. So that is definitely something to consider. We might want to grab a haven and a nomad camp and a ghost town, all of these random things. But I also know I want a bunch of city quarters. So that is very tempting for me now as well. So let's just pay off our debt, and that will give us another coffers. But this is fine for now. We're still going to have a debt here at the end of the turn. So this looks good. And now we consider city quarter plus mercenary, potentially trashing like mercenary copper or something. Don't fully know what we're doing just yet, but opponent goes for a baron just to get that museum bonus potentially. So let's start with city quarter drawing 2. Let's start with city quarter drawing 3, and then let's mercenary. And the first mercenary we're going to use to trash copper estate. My opponent has to discard down to 3 cards in hand, and then we'll draw 2 and get 2 actions. Oh, I drew another talisman and another mercenary. So let's play this. Let's trash a copper and a mercenary. All right, and then let's play this and let's receive now. That seems good. We'll take this now as well. Then I can trash 2 coppers and make my deck even smaller, but I'm running out of cards in my deck. But maybe this is good. Nomad Camp gives us buys. I think we can repay our debt and buy some Nomad Camps this turn. Just don't want to run out of actions. Okay, this doesn't do anything. Let's autoplay our treasures and autoplay these. So let's repay our debt. Now we actually only have 1 buy. Okay, so we definitely need some nomad camps. So let's start by buying 2 nomad camps here. That's going to make this turn... Oh, I had 2 talismans, so I just bought 3 nomad camps by accident. That's fine. I could potentially use my villagers. I could just start on a city quarter this turn. I think that's also good. That's basically like additional buys. And we should be able to run through our entire deck and do it all next turn. And the +2 buys are going to be really important coming up here. Now if my opponent starts attacking us, that's going to be awkward. But let's do this now. Let's city quarter now. That's beautiful. Let's do this now. Let's urchin. And I think we are going to mercenary on my opponent. We're going to have tons of buys. We're also going to have talismans. So I could potentially grab like all of the ghost towns here, all of the urchins, all of the... I can grab all of something. Because I'm going to have 4 buys. Each buy gets me 3 cards. So I can actually end the game this turn. That's kind of crazy. I think that's right. I think I can end the game this turn. Though that's maybe not true, because if I want to play the Mercenary, I'm going to have to, like, trash a Nomad camp and a copper here. I think we just keep this in Urchin. Seems fine enough. So I actually just trashed my last copper, which lost me some gold there. Okay, but if we can make the game close to ending this turn, then maybe next turn we can actually end the game. So I just want to pay attention to museum stuff. This turn I will buy... I think I buy out the urchins and the village greens, and then I buy some other random stuff like silver duchy, maybe province. I'll definitely buy a copper. The mercenaries are awkward though here. I'm going to go ahead and just pass not using the rest of our mercenaries. Alright, so 3 buys. I can take all the urchins, all the village greens, and then this is non-victory cards, right? Yeah. And I'm also tempted to just go province. Like, I could end the game with urchins and village greens at any time. So maybe here I just grab some silvers, a province. I do want 1 province. I do also want 1, like, estate or duchy. I want a copper. I think I'm going to buy 3 copper, which puts a bunch of copper back into my deck. I don't want talismans. Oh, yeah, this is tough. 3 ghost towns also kind of seems like a no-brainer right now. So what would I do? I buy ghost towns, I buy copper, and then I have 5 or 6 left. So do I buy golds? Then with the buys, I almost want the buys, but I don't want the nomad camps to go back on top of my deck. I'm thinking I buy golds and ghost towns, and then coppers. Seems a little silly. But I think that's what I do. This is going to make it really hard for my opponent to be able to stop what I'm doing if they urchin me or anything like that. Haven is also pretty good for that too, right? Alright, so the game should be pretty easy to end. And all I have to do is buy, like, Estate Haven or something like that. So let's start by drawing my deck. Now let's go ahead and... I guess I'll just click now. Okay. So I've drawn my whole deck. So I can buy out the urchins and the ghost towns. But that does not allow me to win the game. So I do have to buy some... Let's buy some big things this turn, I think. Let's draw the rest of my deck. I think I'm going to Mercenary... Might just Mercenary 2 more Mercenaries. See how much cash that gives us. I don't need more than 1 mercenary at this point. We're going to keep that as an urchin. And yeah, let's trash this. I'm going to village green into next turn. I probably buy the ghost towns so that I can set up with it next turn as well. The first duchy is also worth a lot. It's worth 5 and costs significantly cheaper. So let's say this is next turn. Let's take a look at how much cash we've got. We've got 14 cash, which we can make 15, which isn't exactly enough to do everything that I'd like to do. But 7, actually maybe 14. Maybe 13 is exactly what I want. I buy the ghost towns in a state and a province. Okay. So now we're beating my opponent by 8 victory points, which is just 1 province. But we should be easily able to end the game this turn. Oh, my opponent did nothing. Okay, well, we should easily be able to end the game this turn by buying out all of the urchins, the ghost towns, and that will end the game, and we're already winning. So let's do now. Let's do this. I only have 1 estate. I believe, though, that I have 3 coppers. So I think I'm going to Mercenary my coppers. I only have 1 gold. I do need to hang on to my talisman. That's not true. I could trash my talisman. But I believe I do have 3 coppers. Let's see. How many coppers did I play last turn? I played 3 coppers last turn. So I have 3 coppers in my deck. So it's Mercenary, not flipping the urchin. 2 coppers. That allows me to draw 2 cards. We didn't hit either of our city quarters, but I think this is still enough here. With 3 buys, each buy granting us 3 cards, we get to run the urchins, run the ghost towns, and buy a duchy. And then play some ghost towns. So that's a win. That was a crazy kingdom. That was a crazy, crazy kingdom. And I'm not exactly sure how we put it all together, but we figured it out. So now we are 2-2 against Cowering Cow here. And we've got 2 more games to figure out here as we end this set. So now both of us are now locked for not last. But if either of us wins out, I think we come second. Alrighty. And we've got Wishing Well. That is a NoLucksGiven card for sure. We also have Idol, which is certainly a NoLucksGiven card. And this is a pretty cheap kingdom with a bunch of 2s. Only 1 4. And, I mean, it's got a 6 in it, so it's not like a super cheap kingdom. But let's see. Artisan with Idol in play makes Artisan pretty important. Because you can always just Artisan for Idol and start booning and cursing and such. And we actually hit 5 off the rip. This is a really good 5-2 split kingdom. We could Tactician for some huge stuff. I could grab the first Idol. Is there any other way to generate actions in the kingdom? Probably no. No, there is not. I mean, Conclave generates actions. And Conclave is pretty good here. I'm basically just debating between Tactician and Idol. I really love Idol, but I'm thinking about Tactician as an early game card Could be really good. All right, we know Way of the Horse. You return this and turn it into a horse. Gain a non-victory card costing up to 5. Each other player gains a horse. So we could always use that to grab more idols or something. Tactician is good. So does anything trash? Trashes or a card from your hand. Yeah, so Raise allows you to trash. So that's pretty good. I think I'm just going to be buying lackeys, though, on my next turn. Patrician with Idol and Artisan also seems really good, though. Look at trash this or a card from your hand. I think I probably will grab Raise. So if that's the case, do I just want to grab Tactician into Artisan? Tactician helps us grab Artisan easier. All right, let's grab Artisan, and then we'll grab Raise and start trying to trash our estates. Opponent goes for a Wishing Well, really strong in the early game because you just name Copper and hit every time. This is great. We'll just Raise, trash a Copper, and then Tactician. Next turn, we will draw everything. We draw all of our cards and buy an Artisan. So yeah, we're going to draw everything here, buy an Artisan, and then hopefully we find the means to allow us to keep doing some shenanigans. We will get to Raise in a state here, so that's great. Keep the deck svelte, keep the deck small. We also have 2 buys because of Tactician. So it is potentially worth considering some other action like Raise Conclave or something like that. But I think we would just like to Artisan, because the Artisan's going to be really strong here. This turn, we grab an Idol, put Tactician back on top of our deck, then buy a Conclave. Our opponent just gained a Patrician, which I also think is really good, and I could also definitely see making use of. But let's go Artisan for Idol, put Tactician on top. Autoplay this. I gain a boon. I can discard any number of these. So I can't. I think I want to keep the estate. Guess I could like discard the Copper just so that our deck cycles through faster. And we get to Artisan faster. Because next turn we're just going to be skipping our turn. We're just going to Raise the estate and then play Tactician on this turn here. And then next turn we should be able to Artisan, Idol, Idol. So we're basically like doing that every other turn, assuming that we can set things up correctly or draw them in a somewhat respectable order. But we trash an estate, draw a Copper, Tactician, trash everything. We could buy a Copper, but we'll just end the turn here. We actually did not hit the Idol. It is the... Oh, we're going to hit the Idol, though. Yeah, we're going to draw... I was going to say the Idol's the last card in our deck, but we're going to draw through the rest of our deck as well with... with the estate. And actually, once we're done... Or with the Tactician, once we are done with this Raise... Sorry, just kind of thinking things through here. So Raise is now on top of the deck, but we can always just horse the Raise. Unfortunately, we didn't draw it, so we drew things in a little bit of an awkward order here. I'm just going to Conclave into Artisan. And now I will get to... Yeah, it just doesn't make any sense. Oh, I've got 2 buys. I've got 2 buys because of Tactician. Oh, okay, so that's perfect. I do Idol. Let's put the estate on top so that way we draw the estate with our Raise. Then we play through all of this. We drew 2 cards, discard 2 cards. Okay. And then we play this, and our opponent gains a curse. That's perfect. So now I can buy 2 more Artisans, or I can buy Province Patrician. That's not as great. I could go Conclave Patrician. My opponent did buy the first province already, but I don't think we have to really sweat that out too much. We could buy 2 golds as well, but I think Artisan is doing a good enough impression of golds here. Really not sure. I'm really not sure what I want to grab here. We do have access to additional buys on this board with Tactician, so I'm not like super sweating it. I think Province Patrician might just be good enough though, or Province Conclave. Both of these seem fine. Patrician isn't really what I need to be doing here, though. I really want a province. This is a tough turn. Let's think about this for a second. 1 second. All right, sorry. I just wanted to send a text message to one of my friends, too. Alrighty. I think I'm really tempted to just go, like, Province Conclave here and just really spend my money. I don't know if I need more Artisans when it's so hard to generate actions on this board. We're 1 short of Province Tactician, which I think would be even better. So I'm also somewhat tempted to try to get some more money, which Conclave does bring. But you can't conclave a conclave. You can only conclave Artisan. I'd almost like bargain and gain another Idol, because I think Idol is going to be pretty clutch. Yeah, we're like still continuing to play all these coppers and stuff. Maybe we do just want more Artisans then. Do have access to Tactician. This is so tough. This is gonna be like a turn that decides this game for sure, and I just can't figure it out. Also Forum, which getting access to 1 Forum could be good. Going Tactician Artisan allows us to keep doing what we're doing. Let's just go Province. And I think Lackeys. I think Lackeys is fine. I potentially could have gone for a Ducat there, I think, even too. But I think this winds up being fine. We're going to get rid of all the estates. Tactician was like the perfect draw for us there, so that works out really, really well. All right, my opponent goes for a raise finally, but I think it's going to be a little too late. So we get to put 1 of these 2 cards into our hand. Sure, this actually works out kind of cute. So we take the Conclave. We go Conclave into Tactician, which discards our hand, but then we're able to pick up either a Lackeys or a Patrician here. And we grabbed the Lackeys last time, right? I think this kingdom's going to be about big turns. think just more lackeys is good. And then we've got another 6 here, and I do think I will take another artisan. Now that we have some villagers as well, there might be some funky stuff that we can do with multiple artisans. That's right, I forgot we were also drawing a whole bunch more cards this turn. And we've got access to 2 buys. So let's start with lackeys, and then let's go conclave into artisan. And we're going to use artisan, I believe, to just grab an idol. 6 plus 6 is 12, 14. Okay, so this turn I could grab. All right, so let's do this. Let's top deck this, and let's start with our idols. You may discard a treasure to gain a card costing up to 4. Yeah, we don't need one of these coppers. So let's discard this. I think I just want to keep gaining lackeys. I think I can just keep popping off with huge turns here. We curse my opponent, then we get another... we gained a Will-O-Wisp. All right, that's sweet. And then I've got 2 buys. With those, we're going to buy a province. And I think I'm going to buy another idol. I think these tactician turns have been big. You know what? Maybe I want one more tactician. Yeah, let's grab another tactician. I like that as well. Okay. There's like potentially some really cool stuff you can do with artisan. You top deck your tactician, and that works out really well. I'm going to horse my raise at this point and get that back into the deck. My opponent grabbed a Sky's Gift, so that's good for them. So let's raise this horse, and we could even just raise these lackeys, but I think I'm going to hang on to them till I have a few less actions. Let's Will-O-Wisp. All right, and we hit the tactician. So now we can just put the tactician on top with the artisan, grabbing another bun. But we want to try to find 2 more gold first, and that is it. So now we artisan, grab idol, put tactician on top. Then we slowly play out our idols. All right, we got an additional buy. We give them a curse. We get an additional action, and then we play these. So with our additional buy and our 2 additional gold, I think we just buy a lackeys here. And I think this game is slowly slipping away for our opponent right now. This turn we'll be able to conclave into tactician, buy some more lackeys, and set up for another huge turn on the next one. Alrighty. And we've got 8 villagers, which is crazy too. There's probably some infinite shenanigans you can do in this kingdom with artisans and lackeys gaining you villagers every time you use artisan. Yeah, there's definitely some fun to be had there for sure. So this turn, this is where things start to get funky, and we start to use the artisan to top deck our other tactician every single turn. No, that's not possible. Okay, never mind. Let's play a lackeys. Let's play a Will-O-Wisp. We've got 2 actions right now. Let's play another lackeys. We have 2 buys, but I mean, I think we just keep going while we still have the actions here. I might consider horsing, using Way of the Horse right now. There's only 4 Pravis left in the deck. So let's see how much we can buy this turn, eh? All right, artisan, grabbing an idol, top decking tactician. Then we go idol. We got +1 card. That's actually annoying. We give them a curse. We idle into +1 card at the end of the turn. And then we go ahead and buy 2 provinces. So yeah, this was a pretty clean game. We did get a 5-2 split in this kingdom. So unfortunately for my opponent, I think that's probably going to be enough. We're only going to be able to buy 1 province this turn unless our idol trips us into an additional buy, which is totally possible. Let's use the first lackeys. Okay, Will-O-Wisp is sweet. I'm just debating if we want to use these as horses at any point. But I think we still have a comfortable amount of villagers. So I don't think we should be doing... And then I think I'm just going to hold here because we only have 1 buy most likely. Yeah, we can discard a treasure and gain a lackeys. That's fine. Curse my opponent. +1 action. That's fine. Alrighty. So yeah, this is probably enough here. At this point, I'm just going to Way of the Horse basically everything, and we shall see what happens. But first, let's go Conclave into Lackeys. Then let's go Way of the Horse, Way of the Horse. Oh, we kind of missed, didn't we? All right, well, that's awkward. We could grab a Lackeys. That is 2. I think we grab Forum. Yeah, let's grab Forum here. Discarding. Oh, undo. Let's top deck a Copper and then play Forum. Discarding this. And we actually totally missed. So fair play. Fair play to my opponent. We now no longer have a Tactician in our deck, which was certainly part of why we were doing so well. But I think we can get by just by grabbing another Lackeys. And here we go. Here's our Idol. We'll probably be able to chain some Lackeys this turn as well. Oh, my opponent actually has a Tactician turn. Okay, well, if they can buy every duchy, every estate, discard the curses, and give me every curse, I think they still come a little bit short. That's 21, 29. Yeah, even if they bought every green on the board, they would still lose. So I think we are doing pretty good here. We are going to hit 7. What can we do? We can gain a silver. Unlucky. We are getting unlucky right now. I think I'm just going to grab a gold, though. Let's see. We could also just keep grabbing Lackeys, because Lackeys and curses almost end the kingdom. Sure, let's just do that. Lackeys and curses it is. Alrighty. We should be able to end things now with these Lackeys here. Yeah, we're able to. We found the win. So, yeah, let's trash this. Let's play another Idol, give my opponent another curse. And, oh no, undo. Don't discard. I almost just discarded 2 cards and then would have been unable to get the province. But let's end the game there. And now we are 3-2. So if we can win this next one, I think we will get second in the league. I'm not going to go ahead and load that up, though. Let's just hope that that is right. And we get to be on the play for the last game. Cower and Cow is already locked out of being demoted. But if we can win this one, ooh, and this, okay, this is a crazy kingdom. This kingdom's got a lot of crazy stuff going on. We're going to be able to get a Fisherman on the first turn, Potion on the second turn, and that seems pretty straightforward. If my opponent has a 5-2 isn't even as good in this kingdom, I don't think, because Scrying Pool, I believe, is fine, right? Each player, including you, reveals the top card of their deck and either discards it or puts it back, your choice. Then reveal cards from their deck. Then reveal cards from your deck until you reveal one that isn't in action. Yeah, so my opponent got a 4-3, which means they can't pick up that free Fisherman, but we are going to be able to grab this Potion. We are going to kind of miss on this turn because we got 4 on this round, but I think I will go ahead and grab another Fisherman. So Scrying Pool, you look at, it's like that card we were using earlier, the attack we were using earlier. Look at the top card of both players' decks. You can scry each of them. Then reveal cards. So if you find an action, you want to keep it on top. All right, my opponent grabs a silver. Fisherman is just better than silver, so let's go ahead and do that. But then on this turn, we will be grabbing a silver. Native Village is also an option and a pretty cool card. But we just want a Golem as soon as we can, I think, and grabbing a silver is going to help. We should be able to Golem in this turn, and Way of the Butterfly would let us exchange Fisherman for Wayfarer. I don't think that that is any good. Oh, we should read this. When you are the first player to gain a province. Okay, so this is going to be a crazy game. All right, we've got a Golem. So Golem online. We now want to start grabbing actions wherever we can, though, because Golem will give us a bunch of things to do with actions. We almost even want to consider like a moat just to blank their Scrying Pool. We want to consider what else is good with Golem. It's probably Wayfarer. Are there any plus buys on the board? I don't believe so. You know, Wayfarer allows you an easy way to... You can grab Wayfarer easily if you're able to buy a card. You like buy copper, just plus buy allows you to buy copper, buy Wayfarer. As is, we're kind of just like going for silver, but that's really not good for Golem. So we have to consider what's good for us is good for the Golem. I'm going to want these distant lands as soon as I can, though. So I think I will grab a silver. And with no plus buys, this is looking a little bit awkward. Like, we're going to be able to get a province this turn. But how good is that? Oh, are we able to grab a province? Oh, we are. We've got 9. Okay. Well, let's just grab a province then. I think this is just going to be like an aggressive kingdom. It wasn't the way that I originally drew it up. I thought that this was going to be a big kingdom, but with only 1 buy. Oh. Oh. Okay, I bought the first mountain pass. And my opponent bid 16, is that right? So if I do nothing here, my opponent is in debt for 16. I think I'm good with that. So when each other player, yeah, ending with you. So they will get like a free province. Oh, they bid 15. I don't want all of that debt. I just don't want the debt. I think we can saddle my opponent with 15 debt here, and that's decent enough. They're going to have to skip 3 turns, so it's like we got 3 additional buys on them, and I think that's going to be good enough. I'm just going to keep gaining fishermen's and scrying pools and provinces. Whew. All right, it's always tempting to do that, but alrighty. So let's go ahead and what happened there? Oh, they scrying pooled and made me discarding Golem, which is the best thing for them to have me discard, but that also meant that now I can't buy the fisherman. So that was a huge attack from my opponent there. And that is really, really going to mess with my ability to do powerful things right now. Oh, that's really frustrating. Okay. I think here I'm just going to grab a moat because that was frustrating, but also maybe we can do crossroads as well. We're not going to be hurting for actions. Let's grab a moat. We're probably just going to be grabbing another golem on this turn, but that's fine. My opponent repays their debt and buys an estate, which gives them a gold. All right, so we go scrying pool. We're going to discard our province for sure, and then they can keep a copper. We actually don't even have to use fishermen here. We're just going to be able to buy a golem, but that's sweet. We were able to get rid of an estate. So now we've got 2 golems in our deck, and I'm feeling pretty good because each golem is pretty powerful and should be able to help us get a province. My opponent goes for the second horde. We're going to go fisherman into golem, grabbing moat fisherman. I could also butterfly the moat to grab a silver, but that's fine. Let's just play these. And we hit another golem. So this will certainly allow us to... actually, it won't. It won't. Okay. So let's discard this. Let's keep that on top. And unfortunately, We get to 7 this turn, which is really awkward, but I think we're just going to be grabbing distant lands here whenever we can, because our golems should allow us to play those distant lands for free. And this is something that I do have to watch out for. You know what? I really want a Wayfarer. I forgot about that. I'm going to grab one more golem this turn, but then I'm really going to prioritize Wayfarer as soon as I can. And as soon as I say that, I draw another golem hand. I guess I will just grab another golem. Distant lands to grab 2 golds is really cool with Horde. All right, let's grab golem. No. Let's grab another distant lands here. We've got enough golems in the deck already, and I will grab Wayfarer the next time I miss, because I think that that's going to be really good with golem. Try to get some more silvers into our deck. But let's see what we can make happen here first. So we already have enough for Wayfarer. Let's play the Scrying Pool first. Let's play the Scrying Pool, and let's discard a copper, and let's top deck their estate, and then let's play Moat. Alrighty, so I can butterfly my distant lands, but I'm already going to buy a Wayfarer this turn, so let's just play distant lands and then grab a Wayfarer. And distant lands is certainly enticing, but Golem hitting the Wayfarers, I think, is going to be the Wayfarer that we win fairer, or win less fair. Alrighty, so let's go Golem. Alright, sweet, that's great, that's perfect. Let's play the distant lands, play the Fisherman into another Golem, and sweet, we hit the Wayfarer. So let's go Scrying Pool first, and we're just going to play the Scrying Pool, discarding copper, discarding my opponent's gold, and then playing Wayfarer, gaining a silver for sure. Fisherman, we hit another Golem. I think we're out of actions. Oh no, we had a Moat. Okay. So let's play the Moat to draw 2. And now, of course, we hit on 7 yet again, which is really unfortunate. I think I'm just going to buy another Wayfarer, though, because I think Wayfarer is going to be one of the strongest things that we can Golem. It's going to increase the power of our deck, which yeah, it's just a good card to hit off of Golem, and then it's also going to increase the power of our deck by putting silvers into our deck. So I think that's what we want to go with here. My opponent goes for distant lands and then probably doesn't have too much else to follow that up with this turn, unless they've got a Horde. No, they've just got a gold, so they're going to grab a Crossroads. And I think I'm going to grab another distant lands here. I do want to make sure that I'm hitting my fair share of distant lands. We've got Moat and... oh, that's sweet. We've got Moat to protect against our opponent's Scrying Pool, but we've got Moat and Wayfarer in our hand, but I think that's going to be fine because we should be able to use Golem to hit into our Fisherman and thus be able to play the actions that we have in hand. So yeah, Fisherman, Wayfarer. Let's play that, then let's play that. And then gain silver. I feel like I might have hit don't gain last turn because I was distracted. But let's grab these. Let's play this. Let's play this. And now I can play another Wayfarer, gain another silver. And unfortunately, this is 7 yet again. But I'm just going to go ahead and grab the last distant lands. It is free real estate. And we should be able to hit into it with relative ease. I don't think I want the Horde here either. I think I just want another Wayfarer in our deck, and that is what we are going to go for. Let's read Seer, though. Yeah, I don't want Seer because we're not hitting 2 to 4s. We're hitting 5s and 6s. So that seems better for us here. This turn's kind of a miss. Depends what we hit off Wayfarer. Maybe we'll buy one more Golem, and I don't think we're too far behind our opponent here right now, though with double distant lands on that turn, things are looking a little bit scary, but let's see. Wayfarer, we are going to gain the silver. And then I guess we can go one more Golem. Yeah, that seems fine. All right. Fisherman into Wayfarer means that we currently have 5 if we can draw just a little bit more, we'll be able to get a province this turn. So let's see. This is currently 6. We just need to hit a little bit more, but unfortunately we did not. So this is going to be 6 again. Let's grab one more Wayfarer. I think we can still make a run on these Pravis here. My opponent has like a pretty straightforward kind of like vanilla deck, I want to say, where we are certainly doing much more powerful things. I'm going to always reveal my moat. And what do they have? All right, well, for a vanilla board, they are able to buy another province. And they're beating us by 20 now, but I'm not going to let that stress us out. Let's go Scrying Pool. We're going to keep the Golem, and we're going to discard their Scrying Pool. Then let's Fisherman into Golem. And we hit that, which means we are out of actions. But we will play this Wayfarer, gaining a silver. And yeah, now I'm starting to feel a little bit silly. Let's grab one more Fisherman here, and hopefully our Golems can hit into a few more Fishermen. But we're definitely drawing our cards in not the desired order right now. My opponent buys another province, so now we're down by 20. But we can still win this. We can definitely still win this. All right, let's always gain silver. Let's autoplay, and let's purchase a duchy. All right, and now let's Golem into some real stuff here. I definitely, the one Scrying Pool that my opponent had, all right, finally, my opponent gets a 7. They've been getting a lot of higher than 7s. Of course, they've got a lot of golds in their deck, but we've been getting a lot of 7s while they've been doing much better. So Fisherman isn't exactly how we like to see it, but maybe we can hit a draw. We do not, but we are going to be able to grab a province, and we will do so to try to get ourselves back into this game. And that unfortunately means that this Golem is going to hit all draw. It could maybe hit the Scrying Pool, though, which would be good. We had Moat, so they didn't get to attack us. Our opponent grabs a Golem, so that's good. Oh, I revealed 2 Wayfarers. Okay, let's Wayfarer, gaining a silver. And then let's play this, gaining a silver. There we hit our Scrying Pool. That's fine. I figured that something like that might happen, and we're going to have another similarly awkward turn this one. So yeah, things aren't looking super great for us here as our opponent buys another Pravi. Yeah, we're really just going to have to buy a bunch of duchies now, aren't we? All right, let's gain another silver. Let's autoplay these and grab another duchy. Wow. All right, I'm getting pretty boned here at the end of the game, and my opponent is just able to continually buy provinces. I think we maybe could have played this a little bit differently at some points here, but we're also just really getting the most awkward draws imaginable, where we just keep drawing our Wayfarers in the wrong order. I feel like every victory point is going to count, and we need to grab every victory point that we can. We really need to be grabbing duchies, and only duchies at this point. So, yeah, my opponent is able to find the win, and we are going to go 3-3 here in this match. So, not too bad of a run there, but 3-3 means that nothing special is really going to happen. We're not going to demote. We are not going to, promote onto the next league either. But some sweet stuff happened here regardless. And we are, if we take a look at the standings just one last time before we end this video. So with 3-3, that is going to make my opponent 14, 5, and 15.5, right below Super Nick. I'm going to be right behind, and tied with La Zamukuka, if you are still here. So, oh no, I'm sorry, that's right behind. Oh, and I'm also going to be right behind. Okay, so the standings are actually going to be as they currently appear. It's going to be HGilfix, then Super Nick, then Cower and Cow, then myself, then Lazamakuka, then Kartik as the last place person in the league. But we survived, and this was definitely the toughest league that I have faced yet. I think 1 season ago or 2 seasons ago was also a little bit, I believe it was 2 seasons ago, was also a little bit tough for me, as it was like everybody was playing with expansions and I wasn't as familiar with the cards as everyone else. And I think that definitely happened against HGil. HGil knew how to replace better than I did, and I think as a whole outplayed me. But that match was still a lot of fun. And if you are not already following on my YouTube channel, I definitely recommend doing so. There you can find the past VOD highlights from all of my streams. And I'll say that if you are watching this on YouTube, feel free to follow me and catch me live at twitch.tv/NoLucksGiven. But I'm working on a video right now that's going to be like a highlight of my match against HGilfix, because a lot of those games were a lot of fun, and I think that I could maybe boil down the whole 2-hour stream into like a 20-minute, 30-minute video or something. It's kind of an ambitious project, and I probably won't make a habit of doing it, but I think it could be something really cool, because we did wind up having so many cool games. So that is going to be GG's for myself and Cower and Cow. I will throw up the standings there one last time. But that's going to be it for the 47th season of Dominion with me. But this has been a lot of fun. I'll definitely think about some other ways that I can create Dominion content in the future. And I'll probably join in another league as the fall semester starts here. Give me something to do, some casual gaming. It's not too much of a commitment. It's like 1 2 to 3 hour game. This was a 2-hour match. Most of the matches are about 2 hours unless they get really complicated. It's about 1 2-hour stream and match every week. So yeah, I think I can commit to that and get that out there. But that is going to be it for me, guys, today. So thank you very much for watching. I'm NoLucksGiven. Peace.